I'd like to call the meeting of the Joint Planning and Zoning Commissions to order, please. Let the record show everybody is here. And who's supposed to be the chairman? Huh?
Mr. Marshall is called.
Yeah, you get technicalities. I knew there were going to be. What was legal?
Actually,
I checked legal.
Yeah, I had to speak with legal counsel earlier this week because this is something that's new for us, and legal counsel was of the opinion that we could conceivably have two chairmen sitting in this meeting, but no. I mean, go ahead, Alan. Alan can go ahead and chair this and take care of that. There's no problem with that.
You missed the.
I just want to be accurate.
Yeah, and I don't blame you. I do too. This time I'd like to open up the floor for election of zoning chairman.
I'll nominate Alan Krause for chairman.
Second.
I have a motion by Sherry Slyman, seconded by Julio Dumas.
Motion to close nominations.
Motion to close by Steve Barrow,
Second.
seconded by Julio Dumas. Okay, at this time I guess I'm the chairman of the Zoning Commission. Thank you very much again. I appreciate the honor and looking forward to working with everybody in the new council in the upcoming years. And appreciate your support. And I think we can get a lot accomplished in this great parish we're in. Public comment period.
No, Vice Chair. Vice Chair.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. I'd like to open up the floor for Vice Chairman of the Zoning Commission.
Mike Marchand. I second.
Okay. Nomination by Paige Becknell, seconded by Beverly Barre.
Motion to close nominations.
Motion by Steve Barrow to close the nominations.
Second.
Second by Sherry Slyman. Congratulations, Michael.
Thank you.
Now, moving along. Public comment period. Anybody wishing to come up and speak on an item not on the agenda, please come forward. Sign in and you'll get 3 minutes to speak. No one wishing to comment? Comment period is closed. Acceptance of the minutes from the last month's meeting. We do have a revised set of minutes. Everybody want to take a couple of minutes to review those?
Two sets of them.
Oh, that's right. We didn't do. This is the November 14th revised minutes. Take time to look at those. I have a motion to accept.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Julio Dumas, seconded by Michael Marchand. Any opposition? Motion carried. Acceptance of the minutes from December 12th, 2007 meeting. You got a set of revised minutes handed to you before the meeting.
Move for adoption. Move for acceptance, I'm sorry.
Motion by Julio to accept.
Second.
Seconded by Steve Barrow. Any opposition? Motion carries. Public hearing to consider the following PUD, small PUD, Parisian Villas and Lafay Center. Mr. Murphy.
Good evening. My name is Derek Murphy with Parish Engineering, representing Legend Homes for Parisian Villas and Lafay Center. This is a spud we present to you on the corner of Highway 42 and Row Road. We have met all of the ERA comments as far as the drainage and traffic and all of the staff comments. We are donating a piece of property to the fire department, and you'll see on the final development plan. We've also, we do have an access on to Highway 42, which is a restricted access, right in, right out only. And we've also provided a de-acceleration lane on Highway 42 in order to get traffic off of 42 into the development as required by the traffic impact study. We are going to outfall to Buddy Creek and Black Bayou, which is consistent with the existing drainage patterns, and we are meeting the pre-development flows in both directions. And we ask, if you have any questions, be happy to ask them, and we ask for your recommendation to the council or approval tonight.
Commissioners have any questions?
Derek, quick question for you. At the workshop meeting last year, the issue with the drainage came up. I believe y'all had purchased some servitude from an adjacent property owner.
Well, we're working on getting the servitude on the Broussard tract next door, and the across the James property, which was the next piece of property. They needed some improvements, and that didn't work out. So what we did was we added larger detention pond that came towards Black Bayou with a 10-year flow. There is no 10-year flow going to Muddy Creek. There is today, but in the final design, there is no 10-year flow going towards Muddy Creek. The 100-year, we'd only have an overflow weir going towards that way. So we didn't acquire all of the necessary servitudes and improvements, so therefore we didn't do any 10-year flow going in that direction.
Okay.
I've got a question for Sean. Sean, in the traffic study, you make a reference to the quarter-mile buffer zone.
Yes.
What is that?
There's a new DOT policy that they have a blanket approach. If you're within a quarter mile of a state highway or major intersection, you're pretty much, therefore, under the jurisdiction, you must go to DOT to discuss your project and what your possible impacts are. It's just been recently, it's just recently, policy has came towards the Ascension Parish area. And
Okay.
Sean, just to further clarify, what that means is that the proposed improvements on Highway 42 and at the intersection of Broad Road and 42 are going to all be subject to the review and approval of DOTD under the new policy, correct?
Yes, either if you all made a requirement or asked to look into it, it still has to go through the DOTD for them to make sure it meets their overall scheme of improvements, for instance, for Highway 42. You don't want to put something that may jeopardize what their future proposed plans are. So, or even if for some reason the traffic study may not, warrant something, they may, through their own policy, may ask for additional contributions, or it's mainly to let you know that DOTD, they have to go through DOTD, maybe not now, but through the construction plan process at some point, and please them because they're within that quarter-mile buffer zone.
Excellent. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions by the commissioners? This time I'd like to open up the floor to public hearing. Anyone wishing to come up and comment, please sign in. We'll have 3 minutes.
My name is Sheila Aaron.
Did you sign in?
I am in lot 68A. My name was Grove when I purchased the property. I've been there 20 years, and I knew that those beautiful sunsets wouldn't last forever. My only concern right now with this is the location of the treatment plant site based on noise and smell, and would ask, could it be moved further back?
Just state the questions, and he'll come up and address your comments at the end. After you make all the comments, we'll ask the engineer to come up and address the comments.
My next concern would be about the traffic. Other than that, I think everything looks all right. The traffic is a concern because 42 and 929 are a main thoroughfare for the people that already live there.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else wishing to comment? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, please.
My name is Lucette Geis. I live on Highway 42 across from this proposed site, right by Cully Broussard Lane. My main concern is the traffic in the area. Anybody that lives in that area knows how bad it is. But also, I've just gotten a chance to look at the proposed site, and I am concerned how close the shopping center is coming to Highway 42. I was under the impression that those curves were going to be straightened out. If you live in the area, we get up in the middle of the night and there's red lights all over the place. People are getting killed in those curves left and right. And I would certainly hope, I can't really tell how close that's coming to the road, but I hope they're giving enough distance to allow for the straightening of those curves, because I think that needs to be addressed on Highway 42. And to be allowed to happen, and not for them, that building to come so close to the road that straightening cannot occur. Again, I just got a chance to look at it, and I don't know if this is a concern, but if it's coming too close to the road, I just would like for them to still be able to address that problem. And I just don't know that our infrastructure can really handle this big of a development. But again, I know that I'm just one person, and I just wanted to voice my concerns. So I guess if I need to voice a question, is that going to be addressed? The curves, again, I guess you were saying that has to be brought to DOTD before they are allowed to do anything. DOTD would have to do what they're proposing before that development is allowed? Is that what you were saying?
Yes, I'll defer the actual numbers and answers to the design consultant, but I believe the right-of-way, apparent right-of-way that they provided for this road, and they have to go to DOTD, there is some cushion that allow for those, but those are part of the items that they discuss with DOTD. So that's
is the straightening out of
yeah,
the
they discuss at every project, or is this project income permit, are you prohibiting us from doing our overall design of the road? But when the design consultants up, I believe that they have had meetings already with DOTD, and they can give you some more information for that.
Okay. So then, are you saying that y'all have provided enough room for that?
Ma'am, can you talk into the mic, please?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not familiar with this. Have y'all made enough concessions for that to happen?
He'll get up and address that when he gets. He'll rebuttal us.
Thank you. That's all.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, my name's Goosey Geis. I live across the road from there, as my wife just spoke. And I've been living there for 33 years, right across the highway from there. And naturally, it's hard to, after you've been living there so long, to be infringed upon. Of course, everybody moves from everywhere, and we all got to have a place to live and understand that. And things are developing Ascension Parish, and much as I hate to see it, I know it's going to happen. And I know this is going to happen no matter what I say, but up till a year ago, I had friends of mine run rabbit dogs right there, and I wish they were still doing it, to tell you the truth. And I guess my biggest concern of it all over the last 2 or 3 years, I guess since the hurricane, I've been broken into a couple times, and I know this is going to create more activity around there, and it is our house, and things like that. If it's ever happened to you before, you understand what I'm talking about, and I'm sure it's happened to some people here. And I guess my biggest concern of the whole thing more than anything is how much traffic are y'all planning on putting on that one road right there? Because, I mean, if it would stay where it's at right now, it's one concern. But, I mean, in the years to come with that area right there, I just want to know how much more traffic do y'all plan on putting on that road right there? And I say y'all, I say us, whatever. But something definitely needs to be done right there. And the curves and all, that's one issue right there, and really don't bother me a whole lot, that part right there. But the road itself there's enough traffic in that area, and that's about all I got to say. Like I say, I know it's going to happen, but if there's a building in front of your house and you've been living there for 33 years, you'd have concerns also. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, the public hearing is closed. Mr. Murphy.
First, to start off, the treatment plant location along 929. We had originally had the treatment plant in the back and within the development, and the parish had kind of wanted it closer to Bro Road in order to be able to tie into it later, or any kind of, basically to take it over, so forth. We don't have a problem with moving it back, moving it back off of Bro Road and putting a little access drive to it. So that's not a problem there if it's required. The building too close to the road, the major street back as required by the parish, the major street back is for the buildings. We actually have our parking lot well outside the street back. We do know there's some improvements coming on 42. We don't know when they're going to happen. We have not met with DOTD. We was going to get through this step. We do have to go through a permitting process for this project. For every driveway and being within the right of way, we do have to go to those guys, and it's a pretty strenuous permitting process. So that definitely will be addressed at that time. This meets parish requirements. Like I said, it's being completely out of the 75-foot major street setback. Of course, we can't predict the future. I do not know if the state has this design yet as far as the straightening, and we can't predict the future. But we're definitely going to go to those guys, and we're going to meet their criteria for sure. I can't say much about getting this house broken into. I wish it wouldn't have happened. Traffic, we all know the traffic situation out here, and that's the reason that 42 is, under or will be designed or improved in some future. So we did that, add a de-acceleration lane to get people out of the travel lanes as fast as possible that are coming into the site. We did restrict the access onto 42 in order to keep the people from trying to turn left, and we're going to put in there the best geometrics we know how to make sure that people aren't trying to turn left in there. And so we're going to do the best we can on that, and even if we got to do some geometrics with the de-acceleration lane in order to totally inhibit that left turn to keep people from backing up. And so I'd be more than happy to answer any other questions that you have, or if you acquired a treatment plant, like I said, we can move that back, and any other comments you may have.
Thank you. Commissioners have any questions?
You show a fence along Bro Road, correct?
Yes.
Would staff have any problem with pushing the treatment plant behind the fence and having an access driveway to it so that it would be a contiguous driveway? You're correct, staff. It needs to be up front where the parish can hook up to it and ultimately take it over and connect it as part of a parish-wide sewage system. And at that time, it might change from a treatment plant to a lift station. You never know.
Okay.
So, but it needs to be there. But maybe you can push back behind the fence and provide a driveway, and at least some landscaping in the front there to buffer it.
Well, the treatment plant itself is going to have an 8-foot fence around it, whereas along Bro Road we show a 6-foot. So it is going to be a higher wood fence than everywhere else.
Okay. So if you put it behind that 6-foot,
okay,
that'd be perfect.
While I agree with you that that's an issue that needs to be addressed, this isn't the time to do it.
Right.
This is just a zoning, really it's a zoning recommendation that we're sending to the council.
This is right.
It's a zoning classification now, okay? Moving it back, I don't know, Michael, what is that going to do as far as the retention area? Because I don't know how far they're going to move that back. And like I say, this is really something that we're getting a little past where we need to be. I think this is something that could be, we can work out. If this gets approved by the council, then let's work this out when it comes back before the planning commission.
It only comes back to the approval of the final SPUD plan. This is not a PUD. This is a SPUD. You're approving the development plan.
It's not coming back. This is it.
This is the planning.
This is your approval of the zoning and the site plan together.
Wait, I thought we had a SPUD come back before us.
This is a SPUD.
I don't think so.
No, not for SPUD.
Didn't
A PUD is two-stage, but a SPUD...
No, I could. Dutchtown
They may have changed it voluntarily.
Gardens came back before us. What was? And I don't remember. I
I
thought
think
that.
they made some changes to the
Square footage of building.
square footage of buildings.
Okay, so that's when it came back to us.
Right,
That's
that was their decision to bring it back.
all right.
But I don't think this is a major issue. You're not talking. I mean, that looks to me like a pretty large treatment plant site to start with. Maybe even got some buffer area between the treatment plant site and the detention pond. So I think they can move it back without affecting the size of the pond.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments?
I just had a comment, and I've actually already met with Greg and the developers about their landscape and the landscape along Highway 42 at that exit and entrance, just to maybe possibly, if not remove or cut back some of those trees or shrubs, whatever you have, because that could be a site block.
That's correct.
For people leaving the subdivision, especially if someone is walking along 42. I've seen people walking along 42 if they're riding a bicycle, if they're riding a motorcycle. That can be a problem.
Well, what we decided to do, Paige, was we're actually we have to put some landscaping in it, but what we're going to do is try to put low growth where you don't have trees, maybe bushes or shrubs or things like that does not impede any sight distances. We met with Mark Stewart, which is the chief right there at the fire station. That's one of the biggest issues he had at the intersection, was people not being able to see or line of sight. And one thing we agreed to was not to block that line of sight, keep it as open as possible.
And who's going to keep those shrubberies cut?
Well, it would be part of the maintenance of this facility. Because it'll be on our property, so.
Any other comments? Questions? What is the desires of the commission?
I'll make a motion to approve, subject to you moving that. Excuse me. I'll make a motion to recommend approval.
Yeah, you're acting as you got to act as a zoning commission in this.
Right.
Right. As the planning commission, I recommend approval of the rezoning and the site plan, subject to you pushing the lift station or the sewer treatment plant back behind the proposed 6-foot fence.
Okay. As a planning commission, you're voting. You're not making a recommendation. You're voting to approve or not approve. The zoning aspect will go to the parish council.
Okay.
So you're making a motion.
All right. I'll make a motion to approve the site plan with the same condition.
A second.
Motion by Julio Dumas, second by Paige Becknell. Any opposition? Motion carries.
just for Michael, what occurred last time is they made some changes. If they make any changes in the planning aspect at all, the parish council has to send it back here, and that's what happened that time.
Okay.
That's what occurred. Is if the parish council makes any changes to the planning aspects of this when it's there being considered for the zoning issue, then it has to come back and we have to reapprove it again.
Okay.
And as to zoning commission, I make a motion to approve, a motion to recommend approval of the rezoning to the spot district.
Motion by Julio Dumas, second by Sherry Slyman, to recommend approval to the parish council. Any opposition? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Any old business? Hearing none. Number 9.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. Motion by Julio, second by Don Grant. We are adjourned for 5 minutes, and then we'll convene as the Zoning Commission.